Greetings, folks, and welcome to the second part of Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball. And this time around, we're spinning around and rolling around at the speed of sound here in the second level of the game, Lava Powerhouse. And I don't know, I think I mentioned it in the last part that most of my playthroughs as a kid on the Sonic Mega Collection would end at this part because I would usually end up getting stuck at the boss, and you'll actually see what I used to do all the time later on in the part because I managed to do it, but I didn't die somehow. And I was able to take a little bit of a shortcut there. Hip hop! I'm gonna need a second little boost of steam to get through this section over here, and it's enough for some total action! See what I mean about all this 90s lingo littered in the game? I love it. Yeah! Hit it again! Was able to get a little bit of a launch off that robot and get some more total action. Which I like bouncing back and forth between those blue orb things there because you can actually get a lot of points from it. Cool loop. You just gotta bust that cork one last time. There it is. Hey! Heard a sound that meant I got an extra life. Yep, 20 million points, folks. And the first emerald right away. Although somehow a sequence broke because I took that shortcut. And because I sequence broke, I'm gonna get the emerald that I normally get first. I'm gonna move on over here. We got some more total action. But yeah, it's easy to get stuck there for a second, but like I said, you can rack up a bunch of points in the process. And I really like Lava Powerhouse. Its music, its aesthetic. It's probably my favorite level in the game. Which is kind of funny because it used to be my most hated level in the game. And then I started playing the final level in the game and I realized, well, nothing could be as bad as Showdown. Got a lot of total action right there. I just recently bought a Sega Genesis console again. That's not what this was recorded off of. But I just recently bought a Sega Genesis console, and I'm probably going to end up buying a physical copy of Sonic Spinball. I just want to point out that I'm sure by mentioning it, it's probably going to ruin it for a lot of people, but you know what? Hey, I got the last emerald there, but you know what? The Sega Genesis is probably the most affordable of the retro consoles to collect for, because I just recently bought mine like a console with all the hookups and a controller for 40 bucks. But it might go up in value one day. It's kind of weird though because compared to Nintendo, they had the Super Nintendo out at the time, and a lot of that stuff has held its value over the years and increased in value over the years. But I can go out and buy most Sega Genesis games for under 30 bucks a piece. There's a few rare ones, but it doesn't seem like there's very many. But yeah, in this day and age, at the time of recording this, a Super Nintendo console seems to be going for about $100 to $120 on average. I remember when I could get them for next to nothing. I remember buying one off my neighbor whenever I was a kid and only paying like 10 bucks for it. So this is the spot that would end most of my playthroughs as a kid because I didn't know to swing on that chain. I didn't know to control the buttons to swing on the chain, so I would just get stuck there and die. A lot. But no problemo. This is actually one of the quicker levels to get through in the game, to be honest. One thing that's kind of tough to deal with here is you deal with these robot chickens, and you gotta jump on them at the right time. A whole slew of them will move across, as you plainly see, and luckily I was able to get back up to the boss room. But yeah, this is the second of the boss enemies, and this one kind of creepy too. A bunch of Robotnik faces, and they all look really creepy looking. It'd be even worse if they all made the E sound. But these are the Robo heads. There's 4 of them. And they're in this machine called the Reboiler. Reboiler! Jump inside the Reboiler! Oh yeah, and you can actually jump in there from the bottom of it and get back up through the bottom of the Reboiler. Not very good at doing that, though. So I'll just keep it to trying to jump down in here. Ooh. Bonk. Bonk. Got one more to go. Hey, like I said, though, like I said, sometimes I'm going to be just kind of bouncing back and forth like a jackass because it is kind of hard to make those precise movements in the game. But no problem here, folks, because that's the end of the lava powerhouse, and we'll move on to the next level. And this whole second part's pretty much the midsection of the game, folks. Ah, yeah, look at that time bonus. I still managed to get through this level in under 10 minutes, which means I get 10 million extra points. We're getting pretty close to getting a second extra life. And this is the third bonus stage in the game, Robo Smile. And you got a really creepy Eggman face moving back and forth, and you gotta break his teeth. So at this point, I was just pretty much like trying to get through the game, and I was completely surprised that I was doing all this in one take. And for me, it was just pretty much like, just think of that Robo Smile as anybody that you ever wanted to break their teeth. But anyways, that's enough of that. But yeah, the goal here is to just keep bouncing the pinball back and forth and hit all of his teeth. And you can get extra points by hitting those targets in the background. But yeah, before I finally managed to record all of this in one go, all my failed recordings would usually end in the bonus levels. It wasn't the main levels that were giving me problems, it was E. It wasn't E, but it was all the bonus levels, because the bonus levels are kind of tricky to get through, and they're a lot different than the main levels, because they're basically just regular pinball tables. Like I said, I'm not good at... I don't think I'm good at Spinball, personally. I don't think I'm good at pinball, either. I have a lot less experience with pinball. Now I kind of look like a squirrel with them giant front teeth. You gotta look out for the Robo Squirrel. Just gotta break one more tooth. I don't know if you get extra points for ending up in his face or mouth, but hey, that's the last of it, folks, and we'll get on with the third level in the game. Got an extra 3 million points out of this, which I think means that I was able to get a second extra life. I could be wrong, but if I am wrong, it's really close. Anyways, this is the third level in the game, the machine. Okay, yeah, I was off by about 1 million, or about 200,000 points, actually. But you see what I'm doing here? It may just look like I'm stalling, but I'm just trying to wait for that little graph there in the middle so I can launch my way up in there and get that first emerald, like I just did. Now this level is where the difficulty supposedly starts picking up in the game, because this is the first of 2 levels in the game where you have to get 5 Chaos Emeralds instead of 3. Which is kind of strange, because if you think about it, total, by the time you get all the emeralds in the game, it's 16 Chaos Emeralds. But there's only 7 Chaos Emeralds in the regular Sonic universe. But then again, this also takes place in the Sad AM universe, so I guess anything could happen. Which, man, Sad AM was the best of the Sonic cartoons. It even had the best theme song. Sonic, he can really move. Sonic, he's got an attitude. But yeah, that's a certified jam. I don't care what anybody says. Now this song here that you got in the machine, ooh, I'll have to come back to the animal prison later, but yeah, I'm just kind of blazing my way through here and getting all the Chaos Emeralds pretty quick, because this is the 3rd one. 2 more to go. Now this is where the difficulty does kind of pick up if you don't know what you're doing, but I found that the machine was actually a fairly easy level to get through. Especially compared to the last level. But we'll get there in the next part. So pretty quick playthrough to get through, actually. But yeah, the goal here is, you see, just ride the flipper up, and yeah, there's that 4th emerald, that damn 4th Chaos Emerald. And we're back in the animal prison to try to get that 5th and final emerald, as it's in one of these prison cells here. There it is. Now I'm just kind of along for the ride here. Rescue a few animal buddies while we're at it. Like I said, just kind of along for the ride there. Hey, but that was the last of the emeralds, and now we can spinball our way on over to the boss room. Of course, I see that there's still a couple of minutes left in this part, which I think is, I ended up getting just kind of shuffled around for a minute trying to get to the boss room, but no worries. But yeah, whenever I recorded all the gameplay for this, I was like, holy crap, I can't believe I'm actually doing all this in one go. And I was mad focused. And here's where I thought everything was going to go to hell, because I thought I was going to be permanently stuck there and I was going to have to reset the game. I thought that was it. I thought that was the end of the playthrough. Smashing. But the goal here is, this is, I believe, the first and only time you actually see a Roboticizer in a Sonic game, as this is where all the animal buddies are getting turned into robots. And the goal here is, you want to break off all the tubes up top first, before you can go inside the Roboticizer and take out the core of it. Because those tubes are where the animal buddies are, that's where they're being transported. Which this was kind of difficult to deal with for a moment. I was a little bit worried whenever I got here and I was starting to struggle with getting through the boss section, because I hadn't really had this many problems with the boss level. This was usually the easiest part of the level for me to get through, and I was like, oh no, am I gonna throw the playthrough away here? Right on target. But he has some really precise movements you gotta trigger. I was able to get back up there for a second. But a lot of fumbling around. But yeah, this game, ooh. Yeah, you gotta watch for this, but you can actually steer your way out of that if you mash the buttons. But yeah, this game kind of served as a stopgap between Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Sonic 3. As Sonic 3 wasn't ready in time for the holiday 93 season, so they came up with the idea for Sonic Spinball over here in the States, and it's really different from a lot of the Sonic games. If the soundtrack sounds more, well, it doesn't have the same magic as Sonic 1 and 2's soundtrack, but there's still a lot of bangers here. Like, I really like the boss theme. I really like Toxic Caves. A lot of Powerhouse. But the Machine's main song there's not really much to it, just a bunch of clicking and noise. Not really my thing. Still got one more tube to take out over on the left side, though. But yeah, for some reason, all these chickens and flickies and stuff, they turn into cats when they go into the Roboticizer. But yeah, this game kind of does feel like an odd duck in the Sonic franchise to me. But I don't like it any less for that. And that's going to do it for the Machine, folks. Bounce our way through there. Bouncing around in the Roboticizer, knocked it out. And gonna move on to the fourth and final bonus round in the game. Hey, I still managed to get through the Machine quick enough to get 10 million points. I'm getting pretty close to that 60 million, which means I get a third extra life. And not only do you have SAT-AM references in this game, but you also have an Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog reference in this game, as you see those scratch robots there. It's kind of neat. And this is actually one of two games where the where the Adventures of Sonic characters are referenced, because Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine had a bunch of AOSTH characters in it. Which was the other Sonic cartoon that was out about the same time SAT-AM was out. Sonic was big enough at the time that he had 2 cartoon series. Of course, a crap ton of games. Of course, I think 3 games came out for... I think 3... Yeah, there were 3 different Sonic games out in 1993. There was this, there was Sonic Chaos on the Game Gear, which I do plan on recording, and there was Sonic CD, which I already did a playthrough of that. But that's going to do it for this second part of the Sonic Spinball playthrough, and I hope you'll all tune in for the third and final part where we tackle the showdown. See you then.